we are with the CEO of Better Homes and Gardens, Sherry Chris, we've been absolutely so delighted to have you here today, but you've also been a speaker on stage twice, I believe, here at the Inman Conference, correct?
I have, and so it's a pleasure to sit down with my Australian namesake.
I love that, the two Sherrys.
The two Sherrys are talking.
Everyone thinks it's hilarious. So on stage, what did you really cover today? Give us some of what you really brought to the audience here at the conference.
Well, I had a very interesting experience on stage because I was paired up with a man who's been blind from birth.
Wow.
And so what we were talking about was that real estate is often just visual, and there's so much more to our other senses than just looking at photography, which really should be the starting point, or beautiful videos. And then as real estate professionals, we should take things to a deeper level with the consumer.
Oh, that's so beautiful and so powerful, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. We do kind of forget about those things. But real estate, it's such a personal and such an emotional journey when you're buying and selling. And sometimes we forget about that and we just see it very transactional. And I know that's something that's very important to you. So can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. And so for me, I see a very big disconnect in our industry where agents are moving from one transaction to the other. In fact, a lot of us call them deals, which is not, a wonderful term to use, whereas the consumer is really looking to start the next phase of their lives. They're dreaming about the next phase of their lives. They're thinking about lifestyle, they're thinking about community, and they're not thinking about a transaction. And so what we try and train our agents to do and urge agents is to create a deeper relationship with the consumer. Find out what's inside their head and exceed their expectations by taking them through a journey. And the end of that journey is, of course, the beginning of the next journey, but the end of that journey is moving in to a new, beautiful home with their family and, just having a wonderful life.
Yeah, a next chapter in their life, so to speak.
Exactly.
So we're very lucky that we get to sort of be a part of that. And I think, that's what the Better Homes and Gardens brand is all about. It's actually about life, not just a transaction, isn't it? So
it really is, and that's one of the reasons why I was so excited to launch the Better Homes and Gardens brand 10 years ago now.
Wow.
I know, time has flown by quickly, but it's a wonderful lifestyle brand, and it really helps people, visualize and live and feel, what their lives are all about.
Yeah. So it's interesting because, as you say, a lot has happened in 10 years, but of course, the company I hear is expanding, and we saw you in Australia last year. You were sort of brought on over, and I know that the brand has been growing there, and watch out 2019, because I believe the takeover is actually here. So what is the global sort of picture for Better Homes and Gardens?
Well, we are licensed in many countries to actually sell franchises, but we do have a strategic plan, and we have a couple of countries that we're working on. We're negotiating with wonderful people right now. I can't tell you what those countries are.
I love that. You can't tell us?
I can't tell you
yet.
So I think that hopefully there'll be some announcements soon. But Australia, I couldn't be more excited about, and I just love everything that my colleagues in Australia are doing with the brand, and their advertising and social media is just so on brand, and now agents and brokers will start joining, and it's going to be a huge kickoff.
We look forward to seeing that, and I think one of the big parts of Better Homes and Gardens is it's very female orientated, whether it be internally within the brand and the recruitment of people working for the company, or externally. So tell us a little bit about this.
Well, it's interesting. When we look at the magazine, about 75% of the readership are women, but 25% are men.
Okay.
And so it is a magazine that appeals to many, many people. When we look at the real estate industry here in the United States, I think it's 63% of real estate agents are female.
Wow, 63% of female of agents in the States are females.
Correct.
Wow.
And so there's a great appeal to the brand. But one of the early worries that I had, Sherry, when I was building out the value proposition to launch Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate here, is that men wouldn't be interested in it. But the opposite was true, because what we find is that there's one family member that has more of a say in moving, and that's quite often in a family the woman.
Yeah, so she's the power broker, so to speak.
She is. And, I hand out Better Homes and Gardens cookbooks a lot, and I hand just as many books out to men as women.
Well, I think that's important because we do need to really represent both genders, but I just know that that's something that's been very important. And speaking of which, and women kind of in the workforce and in the industry, I mean, particularly around the world, really, we don't have a lot of female leaders, I suppose. And, what do you think we can really be doing to encourage more women into more management sort of positions within the industry?
I get asked this question a lot, and my answer, first and foremost, is that you have to believe in yourself. And if you believe in yourself, you can accomplish anything. And I'm sure you know this, Sherry, because you've achieved great success yourself. And so with women, you need to wake up every morning and say, I can do this, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is, but, exceed your own expectations and exceed your own goals. And so that is the first step, and then everything else will unfold.
Yeah, well, I think that that's super important. Step one, believe in yourself. But I also think, too, we need more role models in this industry. And one of the things that we love so much, and particularly when you came out to Australia, was, and why we embraced you so greatly, was because we just love having more female role models. And so I think actually taking inspiration and seeing that other women have done such remarkable things and are celebrated for their skill set is super, super important. So thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And it was... I was really overwhelmed being in Australia and the warm reception that I received there. And, I want to say thank you to you because you were a part of that. But, if I could talk about women for just another moment, and it's really interesting because the California Association of Realtors just launched a program for women. It's called Woman Up.
We've actually had Deborah Trapin on the show this morning.
Perfect. So she was talking about
Yes.
it. Now this is the second time. And so, as we're sitting here talking, I'm thinking, it would be wonderful to take Women Up to Australia as well.
Well, this movement is happening, and as you know, I'm such a big part of that in Australia because I feel that there's actually time now to celebrate women for their skill set and to create more voices, whether you be young, old, whether you're in property management, whether you're in management, whether you're a sales agent, whether you're in support, there is room for all of us. And I think we need to celebrate, and have different role models in all those different positions in the industry.
Yes.
But this Woman Up concept, which is about whether you're male or female, let's talk about being collaborative and supportive of everybody in this business and make sure there's enough voices, correct?
Absolutely, and so it really is about collaboration, and I look at everyone as human beings, and I get energy from both genders, and it's just it's wonderful to be in this great real estate industry and to really be helping people move on to the next phase of their lives, and also to be at a conference like this, which Inman Connect is, it's my 21st year here.
It's your 21st. Wow,
yes,
that's
yes.
very impressive.
And I learned something each and every time that I can take back and incorporate into what we do at Better Homes and Gardens to improve our network.
What's been the big takeaway for you from the conference so far?
Less technology, but more innovative thinking. And so we have to use our brains more. And, one of the things I always think about when it comes to technology is technology creates efficiencies for us, helps us be more efficient, time management, all of that type of thing. But we need to use our brains and think differently when, we're working with colleagues and working with the end consumer as well.
I think that's really important, and I think probably for me one of the biggest takeaways is that yes, technology is there to help us, but it's then that heart-to-heart connection that's established by us still connecting and still establishing those relationships. So let's embrace the technology, but let's make sure that what makes this so personal is actually still there and that we're still really embracing that, correct?
Exactly, exactly.
Sherry, thank you so much for joining us today and for giving some of your time.